Hey there everyone, Hitesh here and welcome to another Saturday Live. This one is a little late, but finally I'm here to share my experience and to have a little bit chit chat with you, trying to answer a lot of your questions and more. So let me first go into and pop out my screen and enable all the chat functions and everything. So just give me a few minutes and we are going to get started on that. Okay, so here's the content, here's the live. Just give me a few minutes to set things up and then we are going to have the things all set up. Okay, so here are all the settings. And the first thing that I would like to do is, okay, these are not the settings that I want to change. Analytics. Okay, so live control room. This is what I was looking. Just give me a few minutes. In the meantime, I'll just set up things. Live chat, enable the slow mode. That is the most important thing. And please bear with me. I'm having a very bad throat, so I'm going to be speaking slowly. Let me pop out my chat as well so that I can talk and see up here. There we go. So hey Rohit, hello Rohit as well. Sagar Pinjani, I'm doing MCA. I'm gonna take up the questions and everything in a minute. So just wait a few minutes, and I'm gonna be sharing my experience of working in the startup as well. A few of the things that I'm currently involved in, and how to do 2x speed in live. There is no 2x speed. Probably you are in a too hurry. If you're in a too hurry, you shouldn't be watching YouTube anyways. You should be doing better things if you are so much on the time schedule and stuff. Okay. Where are my chat options that I can enable? Okay, this is a little bit tricky to find out where my chat options are. There we go. Okay, now I can bring in, and thank you, Krishna. Thank you so much. I'm taking care a lot. Where's the, okay, Falcon says, where's the iced tea? There is no iced tea. I'm just being on a health cautious this month, a little bit more. So bear with me, and I'm going to be getting more on that. Gani Kamma sir, Kamma Gani to you as well. Okay. Ronak says, give me job. Sure, more than welcome. Come to Jaipur and I'll surely recommend you. In fact, I can recommend you even as well to a couple of places. Sir, how are you? I loved your gym incident shared in Insta. Hey, thank you so much, UG Learning. And yes, I have been, this was a great incident I shared. I'm sharing a lot of stuff on Instagram, so make sure you're connected there. And I'm going to be talking a little slow and a little quieter as well. I'm not still to the 100%. I'm going to still probably remain like this probably for the 30 days. Entire March is dedicated for the health. I'm shredding a little bit weight. So that's all going to be happening. So Lonely Coder, that's a sad name. Thank you so much from the Bangladesh as well. Coder Django. Okay, that's a nice name. Do you have any plan on a Next.js? I do have a plan on lots of courses, but the problem is I don't share what I'm cooking up next. Because the issue is that sometimes I re-record a lot of sections of courses because probably they are not up to the mark or I don't like them or anything like that. And I cannot do that if I predeterminedly announce the date that, hey, this is going to be the date when this course is going to be released. Courses do take time. Okay, Parth says, what's the price of your Vue.js course? I think you should visit my website, Learn Code Online. All of the prices and content are directly mentioned there. And this live is not about selling the courses and just getting you enrolled in the courses. This live is more about answering your questions Surely, if you buy the courses, that's a great thing. But this is more about sharing my experience in what I'm doing currently with the startup world, some questions that you might be having apart from joining my courses. Let's do that. What are you drinking? This is moreover like natural energy drink, you can say. I got the entire bottle filled up with that. This is kind of a natural energy drink that I really need. Can you share your Spotify playlist? I don't listen to that many songs. So I don't have a particular playlist. I usually listen to other people's playlist. Dwayne Johnson got his own playlist. I didn't like it that much, to be honest. I'm a fan of Dwayne Johnson, but I didn't like his playlist that much. So okay, so so you're looking too fresh, working out. Yes, I'm working out a lot these days. And in the entire month of March, I'm not planning any videos. I'll post a few because they are already planned up, but they are not in my priority. My priority is on health, and the entire March is going to be updates are going to come up on Instagram only, and I'm focusing 100% on just my health and where I want to achieve the health wise. So yeah. You look like patient. Do you have any health problem? Yes, I am having health problem. The throat is in a bad condition, and I'm reducing a weight, so I'm on a calorie deficit diet. So it's very easy these days to poke me, and I'll yell at you. That's the easy thing, because when you shred on weight, you don't take proper diet and nutrition. But that's what I really want. So yeah, it's easy to poke me and get bad words out of me. I'll try not to do that, but I'm on a very, very extreme calorie deficit diet. Okay, Nithis says, any stock recommended? I usually don't recommend any stock, but I think one of the stock that everybody has been buying, and I have also bought a lot of it, is Yes Bank. That's for like 2, 3, 4 years of the stock that if you are going for. And Maruti Suzuki is one of my favorite stock that I collect a lot, and I like that stock a lot. And Tata Motors is there, SBI is there, kind of famous ones. I do invest in them. Shiva says, you are looking perfect, handsome. Thank you so much. I'm trying to shed more weight, and I'm really happy with that. I've shed quite a few kgs, but I'm looking for more. Okay, now let's come to the interesting question. Gatsby.js or Next.js? Now, I have kind of an extensive experience in working with both of them in a couple of projects. Like in one of the big major projects, we use Next.js, and in another one, which is going on currently, we are using Gatsby.js. Now, both of them are very relatively same. In the Next.js, you don't get that many plugins that you get in the Gatsby.js, so one of the advantage of Gatsby is there. Another advantage in the Gatsby.js is the GraphQL that comes up as a cooked up, and images wise, it's very optimized. Another thing that I liked about the Gatsby is it's pro theming. So if you want colors to be under control, or probably you want to give dark mode, light mode, that is way easier to do in the Gatsby as compared to the Next. It's a little bit challenging there, and there are a few issues, but performance wise, server side rendering wise, I think they are on to very, very similar level. There is not too much of the difference between the Gatsby.js and Next.js. But if you really want to go for theming stuff and want to use some of the plugins, Gatsby is the way to go for it. And I think from now onwards, I would be favoring Gatsby a little bit more on that. Pratap says, sir, wanted to talk about why you don't use Hindi. I use Hindi. It's not like I don't use it. I use it a lot when I'm talking to friends, when somebody calls me. My grandma speaks Marwari, so I speak Marwari there as well. So it's not like I don't use it. I use it on the platform where it is required, it is needed. So I'm multilingual. I speak a lot of languages. Okay, Hitesh Chaudhary, your VS Code theme. My VS Code theme is not like I haven't designed the entire theme itself. I have just given a theme steroids, and that is looking way cooler. I'll definitely, that's a long overdue video that I really want to do. So I'll definitely try to do that. Version says comments on crypto. I'm not too much in the crypto. I don't invest in much. I don't understand it much because there's a lot of issues in the crypto, and I don't think I'm a perfect person to talk or to even recommend anything on the crypto. So probably I'm not the right person to ask much on that. I don't have much of experience. I'm old school guy, prefer stocks and cash, probably property investment compared to crypto. It's not like people haven't made. One of my very close friend Abhishek, he got 5 bitcoins, not parts, 5 bitcoins. So it's not like people are not making, people are doing a lot. Falcon, why React? It is bad in SEO. It's not bad actually. The output that comes up from a React application is not friendly with the Google search engines right now. Eventually the Google search engines are getting updated because everything is moving on the React, so they are trying their best to update them accordingly. But yes, right out of the box, the code that is cooked up from the React applications are not very SEO friendly. You have to add in plugins, you have to design headers in that way, so that's kind of a thing that needs to be there. Piyush K. Mishra says future of Java. Java is not going anywhere. Just like PHP, ASP.NET, Ruby on Rails, it's not going anywhere. So if you are a pro fan of Java, you should continue there. It's not going anywhere. I don't make videos on it because it doesn't attract that many views. Doesn't mean it's going anywhere. Rituraj says, why do you use iPhone? Okay, that's an interesting question. I use iPhone because it's much more easier for me to actually bring my videos from computer to my iPhone or from iPhone to there to post it on Instagram or anywhere. It's easier for me. The iTransfer is pretty much so much amazing. That's what I use. Okay, Harshvardhan says, do you think of buying Tesla? I don't think actually. I don't need to think actually. I can buy it tomorrow. It's not a big issue for me. But what will I do with Tesla? Because the max I go out of my home is to gym or a park nearby, and that's it. It's not like really a worth engaging investment that I can do. I will probably like to buy SBI shares of worth that much amount and would like to stock them for the next few years. But yes, if Tesla is going to come up in India and they're going to start, I'll think about it again to probably go for it. Jatin says, do you use Linux? Is that even a question? Yes, of course. Anybody who is even like a borderline programmer definitely 100% uses Linux a lot. AWS is entirely Linux, DigitalOcean entirely a Linux, and I do put a lot of my code there. I use it. I use a Mac on a daily basis, so that is also a flavor of Linux. All the commands are Linux. So yeah. Okay, now that's an interesting question by Sudeep. Best payment gateway and how much does custom pricing goes? Best payment gateways, there are many actually. Razorpay is definitely in the top-notch game. PayUmoney is another one, and Paytm is also there, but Paytm has got a few issues in the a couple of things that needs to be cleared up. I'm working with the Paytm team to probably host some of the videos, even sponsor my channel and stuff like that. So these are the 3 major ones in the market currently: Paytm, Razorpay, and PayUmoney. Without a doubt, you can say that Paytm is actually pretty much leading in the market. But it all depends that how much best pricing you are getting and all these stuff. So okay, there's a super chat. Hello sir, I'm about to complete your free JS playlist and I have your React.js, Node.js and MERN stack course. Which one should I start first? After JavaScript, you should go for React.js first, then Node.js, and then the MERN stack. But there is a little bit but here. You should definitely 100% finish React.js after this. A lot of people after React.js have jumped into the MERN course and have said that we actually understood the node on the go with that course. So I highly recommend to go ahead and try that. Hey, Alicia is there. It's been long. You have been on YouTube. We're connected on Instagram quite a lot. Okay, Harshad says, which is the best payment gateway for Dubai? Probably Stripe or PayPal. I think they are. Braintree is also there. I don't know anything specific to the local Dubai market, but I don't really know much about it. Chetan says AWS, Azure, or GCP. I am a little bit more biased towards AWS because I use a lot of AWS. Google Cloud also have found pretty interesting and easy to work with. Azure, I don't have much of experience. Aram says, are you a millionaire? If we talk about in rupees, of course, that's not even a question. In dollars, yeah, probably yes. Yeah, $1 million is not really that much of a big money. So, best way to make an e-commerce site according to you? It's not really tough to make an e-commerce site. If you're not using anything that is pre-cooked up, I think take all of your backend completely separate and all of your front end completely separate and use something like Gatsby or something which is ridiculously fast. And on the backend, you can use Django, you can use Node.js, whatever suits you. And it depends what your team is already knowledgeable on. There are a lot of factors. What is your budget and all of that? Sudhir says, what is serverless? Great question, Sudhir. I would highly recommend to download the Learn Code Online app. I do have an entire dedicated course on serverless that will also be a kind of a gateway for you as an introduction to AWS as well as serverless. Finish that. It's a course that you can finish up on a weekend. It's free, 100%. So I highly recommend to go ahead and try that out. Chino. Okay, sorry. I have 5 years BTech degree. Is LCO hire me? LCO don't care about your 5 years degree or 10 years BTech degree or 20 years BTech degree. All we care about during the interview, how you are performing, and is your Git profile even interesting and impressive to even place an interview for you on the first place, and then how you're performing in the interview, and will you be able to work whatever the work we are having and doing. Okay, 1, 2 is 3. Why are you not posting videos? I'm posting videos. These crash courses and all of them, they do take time. Sometimes even month, even 15 days to actually. I'm not a vlogger to post videos on every next day. These are programming videos. They do take time to actually first craft the project, then strip apart that entire bit by bit of that project, re-record them, editing them. It takes sometimes 15 days to a month to design or record a crash course. So things do take time. These are not vlogs. So yeah. Rupam, how to be hired in LCO? I'm mostly hired from Instagram actually. People are already connected with me with hi and hello, and whenever there is a need, I ask them if they are available for work or something. Most of the time I get fulfilled automatically by Instagram or via mail. I have posted a couple of times on YouTube as well, but after that I didn't got need of for all of that. Now there is an interesting chat. Let me bring this one up here. You are far behind code with Harry. See, if your measuring matrix is just the numbers on the subscribers, I can cover that up within a week. There is no issue in that. I can just open up my entire library and put that on YouTube, and within the next day I'll be way far ahead of it. But measuring anybody with the subscriber count, I think you are small-minded, my friend. You are small-minded. I've seen many people on the YouTube who are amazing programmers, great skills, and are having just 20,000 subscribers. I think they are far ahead of me. So judging anybody just based on these mere small numbers, I don't think this is a justice to anybody. He's doing great. I'm not saying he's not doing great. He's doing fantastic. He should keep on doing his work. But the way you are comparing, you are trying to make a kind of a bitter thing between me and Code with Harry, which is a bad thing. You should learn some etiquettes there. Your opinion about making open source contribution. There is no opinion in that. It's a good thing. But first thing, you should learn something great. And there are so many things coming out and doing it. So there is no opinion about it. It's a good thing. You should do it. But first, learn the skills so that you can contribute in it. Okay, Siddhant says, I am second year computer science studying in Bangalore. What skills do I need for internship, which is in demand nowadays? Finish up and be extremely good in JavaScript. And if you have a chance, be good in Python as well. And then at least master one framework in that. The foundation should be really good, whether it's Python or JavaScript, whatever you decide to choose up. And then master at least one framework. For JavaScript, React can be one of your choice, or Vue or Node, whatever you like. In the Python, Django is a really good start, or maybe some of the machine learning libraries. So at least one framework or library is really, really much needed there. Okay, there is another super chat somewhere. Seems like I missed it. Let me just try that. It was the same chat by Siddhant Kashyap. So thank you so much. Now let's okay, there's an interesting one. Will AI take over jobs of programmers in coming up 10 years? Yes, of course. AI is going to take up jobs of all the drivers, all the cooks, all the chefs, all the artists, all the programmers, of course, all the filmmaking. So there won't be any job. All you gotta do with me is just sip some water or some energy drink or some iced tea with me. That's all what we'll be doing in the next 10 years. AI will take over. One thing you can do surely is keep your shotgun ready, because we might have to say the dialogue of Arnold, I'll be back or something. Interesting conversation always about AI. Okay, Sarab says, why everyone hate PHP? I don't hate PHP. I love it. It makes a lot of money to us, and I love it. So I don't say that I don't love it. I love it very, very much. Okay, here's an interesting one, and I'm gonna take it like really long, so don't please interrupt me there. Is Firebase good to work on? What do you say on Mongo and Firebase? So this is something which we should be talking more on, rather than mere small topics. Okay, so there is a new project which I'm working on currently, and it will be out in next 3, 4, or 5 months. It takes time. The initial thought was to actually go with the Firebase because they were providing all the things, and we could have done this entire project in just a month and could be up and ready. And the problem with the Firebase is it provides you so many things, but we realize that eventually when this thing is going to grow up, or maybe it's going to blow up quite a lot, then we eventually have to move to something like MySQL or MongoDB. Then migrating into the database is going to be an issue. So we're still thinking on that. But the thing is that a Firebase is really good to make sure that your MVP is quickly up and ready and you are just going up with that. But on the longer run, I have realized that your custom Node.js backend and all of these things actually makes much more sense. So my recommendation is just think about how scalable your project and how is it going to scale. Firebase is good. It can handle even scaling as well. But what about the pricing, and how about there are a couple of issues. I should probably make a detailed video on the issues and things that can come up with the Firebase. So I think that is going to be a good video about thinking of Firebase from a different perspective, or a production perspective. Anirudh says, hello boss. Hey Anirudh. You don't need to call me boss or something. I'm just your friend. Okay, so we're just sitting around. Taneem Jain says a Flask course. No, I'm not thinking on the Flask course as of now. I think I'm already having a couple of great courses on Django, and I recommend people to actually go for Django instead of Flask. Flask is good. Uh, Flask is good, but I have a preference and biasness little bit towards Django. I recommend people to go for Django rather than choosing Flask as their framework. Once you understand the Django, I don't think so you'll be ever moving back to the Flask. Do you know Hindi? Try to speak Hindi. There is no trying of speaking Hindi because I know it very well. Bala says, could you share your experience in pen testing? I will surely share that. I'll keep this question in a minute because there's a lot to share in that. First, let me take up these questions. Okay. So I'm working ASP.NET since almost 2 years, but I want to go for mobile app development. But what should I learn? I am confused. I already bought your Flutter and React Native course, but where to start? I'm confused. Let me clear up your confusion. Go for React Native. And from tomorrow onwards, just keep me posted on Instagram about the stories. Every single progress that you make, start with React Native, and you're going to thank me later a lot. I'm not saying Flutter is bad, but start with React Native. You're going to thank me a lot on this one. Okay, so can I share my pen testing experience now? There's another super chat. First, let's take this one also. Can I bring it up? I don't think so. I can bring it up back. It's by Siddharth. It says, I'm a second year computer science studying in Bangalore. What skills do I need for internship, which is in demand nowadays? I think I've already answered this question that you can choose up JavaScript or Python. They're pretty much in demand. React Native is in demand. React itself is a demand. And if you're in the Bangalore, you won't be facing too much of the problem once you know React Native or React. There are a plethora of jobs in the Bangalore. Even machine learning is plethora there. So if you're in Bangalore, I don't think so there should be any problem. But whatever you pick up, decide to pick up, whether it's Python or JavaScript, make sure your foundation in the language itself are pretty rock solid and strong. It shouldn't be like you don't know what's a prototype in the JavaScript. You don't understand the context in that and the basics of JavaScript engine, how it works, how it manipulates things. If these are not strong, I won't recommend you to do anything in the framework or anything. Make sure our language foundations are good, and then we can have on it. Okay, Santosh, I'll translate this one. He says, hello, after your JavaScript and React course, I got a new job. Thanks a lot. Keep creating the quality content. Thank you so much. And I'm trying for all of you to actually, come on, turn it on. I'll try to make sure that you understand all of these context. I'll translate these such text as well. Okay, so completed AngularJS. What should I do now, sir? You should go for Backend. See, now you have to decide that you are already aware with the Angular, that either you want to go in the front end side or the full stack or backend or something like that. So you can go for either Node.js, or you can also go for React as well. My personal recommendation is that you should go for React. If you have tasted Angular, one should also 100% taste React as well, so that at least you can decide which one is good on what circumstances and where it's going to serve you better. So Ashutosh says, is your React course updated? All of my courses are updated. I'm not a marketplace where I just upload few new videos and call it as update. I scrape off my entire courses and I make them unavailable if they are outdated. So I'm not a marketplace. Unlike some other third-party websites, I don't do that. I don't, just for the sake of updation, I don't update any video or something like that. I like that. Yes, Raj says, what's your take on Apna College? What's Apna College? Oh, I think it's a channel from Aman Dhattarwal. I think that's are you talking about that? That's a great thing. I think I haven't personally honestly watched that content, that what he's posting, but I think he's making a lot of noise and he's doing pretty good. So from wherever you are getting a chance to learn, it's not about learning from one and not learning from other. Keep your mind open and learn from wherever the resources are available. Just go ahead and it's like, I want to learn X thing. Now 5 different teachers are teaching them. Try to learn from one, understand that. If you're not getting it, there is another teacher. Try to have that. Probably you are getting in sync. So it's not a competition. You need to understand that. You watch a comedy content from Bhuvan Bam as well. Then Slaypoint makes a comedy video. You watch that as well. It's kind of a similar thing here as well. No matter what kind of content, let's just say I make a GraphQL course or crash course. Aman Dattarwal also makes a GraphQL crash course. My Sergi also makes a GraphQL crash course. Telescope, Code with Harry, Brad Traversy, all of them makes a GraphQL crash course. You should be really happy that all of them are sharing the knowledge, and you get an idea of seeing GraphQL through the perspective of different people who are in the industry for a while. So these are all good things. You should be really happy on that part. Okay, Syed says, your views on business analyst as a career for fresher. I'm not really impressed by the business. This is a good job, but I am moreover a person who prefers developer jobs where you actually write code in at least first few initial years of your life, because you understand a lot, your perspective opens a lot. And once you transition from a programmer into a business analyst, it serves you really well because you know what programmers are capable of, how much time it's going to take, and then you analyze the things for business. You're going to be doing much better job coming from programmer's background into a business analyst. I highly recommend everybody to write at least a few years of your life into the code. That's always going to serve you much better. So I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm a little biased towards that part. I'm not completing apps I start building. Suggestions, complete them. Come on, my friend, come on. Why on this God's green earth you are not completing those apps? What is more important than the thing that you are learning, that you want to learn? You are so much desperate to learn that you are making a super chat and still you are not completing. What is so much important than this? You need to set your priorities straight. Just pick up yourself some goal that if I'm going to finish these 3 apps, I'm going to buy myself a new iPhone or a new PlayStation or a new t-shirt or something like that. Set up some goal. I know that you really want to do it. You have made a super chat. That's probably the biggest claim that, or biggest support that I can say, but still you are not doing it. Come on, man. Not good. Not good. Okay, so your way of teaching JavaScript in pieces of 7 to 8 minute videos is amazing. Thank you so much. Please make Flutter tutorials also. I have already made Flutter tutorials. They are available on my website. See, when you post a video which is like an 3 hours long or 8 hours long or 20 hours long, I can do that. Tomorrow I can just shrink all of those videos in one gigantic one and can upload it. That's going to do really well on the internet, but that's not going to teach somebody JavaScript. That is going to get a lot of views, probably 10 million views, 5 million views or something that. But what's the point of those views? What's the point of those numbers if somebody is not understanding JavaScript with that one gigantic videos? Gigantic videos are good for YouTube algorithm, not for learning. The average span of a student's attention is 7 to 8 minutes, and that is backed by a lot of research, a lot of data that I have at Learn Code Online. So nobody can challenge that the student's span of attention is 5 hours or 6 hours. It is not. It is just 7 to 8 hours. Then he needs a little bit refreshment, probably just a few blinks of eyes, and then he can again watch a video. But that attention span needs to be backed up. So I backed science and everything, and that's why I try to keep them in that. Although it's not good for my channel, but it's good for you. That's why I keep it. Okay, so course on Django DRF deployment on Amazon AWS EC2. We have already covered that in the blog section of Learn Code Online. There's another chat. I like to share that. probably one of the nicest messages that I have got. Reminds me of Munna Bhai, MBBS, the movie. I like that. Coming back onto you. I have already covered that, not me, but there is another author who has covered it on the Learn Code Online blog. So if you'll check that out, it's just a simple blog. It's freely available. You should check that out. And the deployment of Django, Node.js, and a whole lot of other things are covered in the blog section. So go ahead, check that out. It's really important. blog.learncodeonline.in. Okay. Can you please help me out for a job? Sure. I have posted so many of the Instagram stories about jobs based in Jaipur, a couple of remote ones. So I think you should get connected with me on Instagram. I post a lot of videos about I think there are a couple of still job openings, but the location is in Jaipur. A couple of job openings are there in Bangalore, but my friend is looking up for malware analyst. If somebody of you is a malware analyst and is looking for a job, I can clear up all of your in-between interview rounds as well. You'll be finally facing just one interview round. The salary is top-notch in the market. Nobody can pay you that much. What I'm offering here, not at my company, somebody else. I'm doing just him a favor. Sir, I have 4 years after gap in my career after BTech. I have done your front-end, Bootstrap 4, doing MERN and React currently. Will I get a job or not, Guruji? Let me assure you, 100% you're going to get a job. If you are going to finish up all these courses that you are having, you don't need to know more courses. Just finish them up and make sure you create a good portfolio based on these courses only. You don't need to go on a spree of keep on buying the courses. Just finish these up, make a good portfolio example of, hey, these are the like 5 or 6 great websites, full-fledged website in React, probably MERN, and then just start looking for jobs and interviews. You will 100% get a job. So don't worry on that. You will 100% get a job. And you don't need to reference or anything like that. I've seen a lot of companies who says, hey Tesh, just promote our website. We're charging 0 rupees for a React course. Just the student need to sign a paper. And you're going to be, end of the day, you'll be paying 5 lakh rupees for a React.js course. I am in data warehouse field. Suggest for upskilling. Go for AWS. You're going to kill that in that field. Data warehousing and Amazon, there are a few services in the Amazon which are closely related to data warehousing. If you're going to get a couple of certification in AWS and mastering that data warehousing in the cloud, you're going to kill it. I don't have any courses or anything on that, but I'm pretty sure you can find it on your own easily. There are a plethora of websites on them. So you can actually go ahead and find it on yourself, but go for AWS. You are looking for a cloud to go on. Couple of words about data science. First word that I can say about data science, most overhyped thing of 2020 and probably 2021, but most used as well. Data science is a beautiful field which includes a lot of maths and lots of science. So if somebody is saying, I hate maths and I want to go in data science, stay away. Math is something you cannot stay away from. Okay, so quite a lot of chats are coming up. How many people are actually watching this? We're on to 624 people watching this live without even announcement. So thank you so much. Okay, so let's go ahead and pick up. Okay, there's an interesting question. How much DSA is important for getting a job? I think a lot, not like 100%, but you need to know a little bit. And it also depends on where you are looking for a job. If it is a top-notch company, all they care about is data science, data structures and algorithm. But it's not like DSA and algo is everything. You get a plethora of jobs without DSA as well. But eventually you are going to realize yourself that you really want to learn data structure and algorithm to improve your coding practices, your ability to solve complex problems in a way that it doesn't affect too much in the network and all of that. So stuff like that. Okay, so Okay, couple of more questions. Let's take them as well. Sir, in MSc in cybersecurity and networking, good? Yes, of course, it is very, very good. Well, there is no problem in that. It is absolutely good and it is absolutely fine. But don't expect that your college is going to teach you something on cybersecurity or something. You have to learn it on your own. Degrees actually back you up a lot, whatever the knowledge you know. But in the end of the day, you have to learn it on your own. That's how you do the things. Okay, that's the interesting one. Is Redux toolkit is capable of large project? My dear friend, Redux is the thing. First, it's not a toolkit, but anyways, if you're calling it toolkit, I'm going to go for that. Redux is the thing that you really want to have in the large project. If you don't have Redux in the large project, you are going to make a mess. You'll be crying a lot without Redux. And there are a couple of things, atoms and stuff more are there. You probably don't want to use them. Redux, it's a little tough, but it is the way to go for the big project. Okay, this is an interesting one. Why should I get AWS certified? No, you don't need to get AWS certified. You just need to have the knowledge of how AWS works, different services of them. And one of the way to learn AWS is through the certifications, because these are designed in such a way that you grab a lot of knowledge. But is certification 100% required? In most cases, no, it is not required that you should be purely certified by AWS. But there are some jobs, some consultancy job, especially in the architect level of AWS, that you cannot consult for them if you are not AWS certified. So that is one of the case. And this is still a certificate which covers a lot of ground. So there are few jobs that are going to only accept your interview even once you are AWS certified. Same goes for Red Hat as well. So it all depends on what you're doing. If you are having just off on your own project and you want to deploy that and want to cost save, you can do that on your own. Nobody is going to be doing that. Rana Shoaib says, my parents are asking me to get married and I'm just 18. What should I do? I'm speechless. Nobody should get married at the age of 18. Not even boy, no girl. Nobody should get married at 18. 18 is a stupid age to get married. Sorry if I'm sounding offending, but that is the most stupid thing you can do at the 18. Yeah, I'm being rude at there, but people should be given opportunity to explore their life, to learn something, to even travel the world, or just sit around in the park. For God's sake, let them do something. Don't just put a burden of marriage or something at the age of 18. I shouldn't do that. I feel very pity for that. And as I told you that I'm on a very calorie deficient diet, so it's very easy that you can poke me and I can get angry. I'm trying not to do that, but once you're on a strict diet and too much of workout and exercise, you are on that phase. Can't help much on that. Thank you so much, Denny Age. What is more beneficial testing, manual or automation? If as a manual tester you are getting paid 30,000, as an automation tester you're going to get paid 60,000. You get the difference. And now you know that which one is better. And Marquez says, don't do it, man. 18 is too young. 18 is stupidly young to get married. I think nobody should get married in even 25 as well. 25, I think it's not really that much, but who am I to make the judgment? So yeah. Cybersecurity future in India. How can I learn it? Cybersecurity is one of the things, as long as the products are going to be in the market, as long as the apps or website are going to be in the market, cybersecurity is going to be needed. And as the apps are growing up, the impact of cybersecurity is going to be too much there as well. So don't worry, just start learning. Start with OS top 10 vulnerabilities, SQL injection, cross-site scripting, CSRF, domain hijacking, read a lot of papers, follow HackerRank and bug bounty programs and read their papers and all of that. Okay, so Prabhat Kushwa says, you are saying about getting angry with a smiling face. Can't help that. Smile is a thing that you should never leave, and I try my best to never leave that. Thoughts on micro front ends. I think it's too early to get into micro front ends. We are still not coping up with the microservices, and people are going into micro front ends as well. They look good, too good on the paper, but I think it's too early. I haven't seen any project which actually require micro front ends. So I think it's you can wait for this technology. Rather on this, I would highly recommend all of you to actually learn probably GraphQL or learn GraphQL Yoga, Prisma. You should focus on that learning instead of micro front end. So these are better technologies to spend your time, and if you have more time after learning all of these, then probably you can switch on to these micro front end frameworks. Che Tan says, where do you live? I live in India. It's a beautiful subcontinent in Asia, in case you don't know that. In that India, I live in a state, Rajasthan, which is the most desertish state. And in that, I live in Jaipur, which is a beautiful pink city. So I think that's enough of information about me and where I live. Paras says, why GraphQL is better to REST? No, it is not better than REST. It's a completely different application and completely different scenario. Let me talk on that. So in one of the applications which currently we are working on, we have this scenario where the final form that we are working on, this form is hitting probably 8 or 10 APIs at the same time, and then the final form is getting completed. And what we noticed is sometimes there is too much of communication going on with between the backend and the front end. Sometimes all the information goes on, sometimes a few selected information needs to go up there. We're constantly making changes in the backend and the front end. The team communication is going on there. And what we realized there, that if we implement a GraphQL there, we don't need to actually query everything from the REST API. It's going to make much more easier. And we noticed a significant drop in the network traffic by using the GraphQL. So GraphQL is having its own effective thing. So yeah, you should really think not as an replacement of REST API when you talk about GraphQL. You should look at it a perspective of it's a totally new thing which is addressing completely different problems. And I was having this mindset of replacing REST with the GraphQL in the early days. Even my videos are talking on that. But now my perspective, when I have actually deployed it in the production, my perspective has changed a lot on GraphQL, and I'll surely share that on that. How to make effective mobile app design for a good storytelling without too much animation. Interesting one. What kind of story you want to tell on a mobile app design? Because I think a certain UX and UI is important to have in an application, but too much of the storytelling, if it is happening in the app, why is it an app? It shouldn't be an app. It should be a video to tell that story. Too much usage of the UX and UI can also kill the app as well. So you should not do that. Some things are meant for animation and videos. It should be done that way. A mobile app should be good. It should have a good UI. It should have a good user experience. But too much of animations and too much of the storytelling sometimes kill it. You might have seen the Casey Neistat video. He doesn't too much focuses on the story, yet the story is there. So in the mobile app world also, it's similar thing. Don't focus too much on the storytelling. Your app is not made for storytelling, whatever the app it is. So I hope you get what I'm trying to convey here. I hope I'm making sense as well. Why do you use Mac more than Windows? Because simple answer, in my Mac, if I export the videos, it exports, let's just say I have 10 videos, it exports my 10 videos in probably an hour or hour and a half. On Windows, the same videos are exported in 5 hours. It saves my time, hence I use Mac, otherwise no good reason. Okay, so some motivational words from you. Is this live available after end or removed? No, this live is going to be available. The Insta one was actually fun, that's why I removed it. Insta lives, I usually keep them, but sometimes I remove them if it is just fun or I'm just chilling out or something. Motivational words. You don't need motivational words from me. You already know what's good for you, what's not good for you. So here's a quick thing. All of you know that cigarette is bad for you. All of you know that alcohol is bad for you. All of you know that working hard, earning extra money and giving a gift as a car to your dad and giving probably a new sari or something to your mom is good. So why are you not working hard for it? And why are you drinking alcohol? I'm not stopping you. I'm nobody to stop you. Go ahead, enjoy your alcohol, enjoy your occasional cigarettes or something. I'm nobody to stop you. But if you're asking for motivation, you don't need me. Look around. Who are your family members? Who are your loved ones? Why are you not working hard for them? Make them proud. Whatever you're doing, even if it is a small one, make them proud and be consistent about it. Once you'll get onto the phase where actually your parents talk about you when even you are not there, that's kind of a level of achievement that you might be looking up for. And that can be something like you wake up every day and you do 20 push-ups and you do it every single day. Then your parents are going to talk about it, that our son, our kid is so much consistent and we are proud on that he does 20 push-ups every single day in the morning. Anything can be proud worthy for them. They are your parents and they are always proud of you, no matter what you do and all of that. Okay, let me pick up a couple of more super chats up here. What else field do we have as an IT fresher? My interest is not building up or coding. I'm an MCA final year. There are a plethora of them. There is a UX, there is a UI, there is a DevOps, there is a pen testing, there is a security, there is a guy who even a business analyst or somebody who communicates between client and the programmers, managers. There's a person who just takes the code and deploy it and scale it up. There's a plethora of things. IT is not all about coding. There's marketing, there's a digital marketing. There's so much to explore. But I don't say that you should just give up on coding. You should just have basics of it. It would be easier for you to stay in the IT if you know the language. I'm not asking you to be proficient in it, but if you know the language, like loops and functions, basics of it, you don't need to write it. Okay. My throat is almost giving up, but I'm gonna go ahead and take just a couple of more questions and then probably we'll call it a day. I want to be a backend engineer. What should I do? I know Java. If you know Java and you want to continue on that, Spring and Spring Boot should be your next achieving thing. I don't have any course on them, let's be honest. So I'm pretty sure you're going to find a plethora of good people on the internet who are teaching them. But if you're already, I think you are on a good path. You already know Java. Your goal is very clear that I want to be backend engineer. So don't especially stay away from those videos that says Core Java, Advanced Java, There's no such thing as Core Java, Advanced Java. Java is just a programming language. Spring, Spring Boot, these are frameworks, for God's sake. There is no such thing as core Python and advanced Python. Python is just a programming language. It's just, God's sake, Python. Django or machine learning libraries, these are frameworks and libraries. So stop calling this bullshit. Sorry for using that word, but you should be looking for more frameworks and libraries on that. When we are going to update ourselves on these things, are we going to be still in 90s calling things as core and advanced? We need to update ourselves. We need to get away from these things. Now I'm doing an intern as Salesforce development. Sorry, I stay away from Salesforce. Will this help me in interview for Java web development? No, it's not going to help you. Sorry for the bad news, but it's not going to help you much. What was the last part? I'm a fresher, whether I continue or not. I am biased. Yes. I think somebody who is doing Java web development, even the basics of it, I give him more weightage compared to the Salesforce, because you also know that it's not actual code, it's not actual programming where you write codes and manipulate arrays and functions. It's a they call them as a development, but you also know that Salesforce development is not a development, it's a proprietary thing. So it's not going to help you. Sorry for the bad news, but this is it. Currently a dev in Python, thumbs up, good choice. Is it worth switching to digital marketing? Come on, what are you talking about? I have got interest in both fields. Is the switch worth for a higher package? God's sake, no. For God's sake, don't do this. I'm not saying digital marketing is bad, but where you are standing right now, you are standing on a gold mine. Within like next 4 or 5 years, your Python experience is gonna pile up like anything. Even if, let's just say I have a digital marketing course and I'm gonna earn 10,000 rupees on that, I wouldn't recommend you to buy my course from Python to digital marketing. Surely it's gonna give me good money. You can do that, but I don't have a course. But anyways, no, please, Bharat, I'm not gonna say even a word on it. I'm 100% openly against on it. You shouldn't do that. Even for higher packages, no, not worth it. You should continue developing your skills more in Python and more Python frameworks and libraries. Go for it. Digital marketing is good. It's really amazing. But it should be like a secondary thing for you as a developer that, yeah, I have an interest. I took a course on this blah, blah website, or I read some books in my free times or weekends, and that's all I'm doing. That's all you should be doing. Your Python package is looking right now pennies, but it's going to grow up insanely. Developers don't get paid in their first 2 or 3 years initially. Once you cross the mark of 5 years and 10 years, then the money starts flowing quite a lot. Few words on blockchain, Ethereum, decentralized app. If I would be having knowledge on that, I would be surely sharing my words or my experience on that. I first just have very basic knowledge on it, what I studied in my college, that's it. I haven't yet done any kind of production level work on blockchain. I don't have experience. We did got one project of that. I was not actively involved in that. Other team members were, so I don't have much on that. So I cannot share that. Things in which I don't have my expertise, I don't think it's worth your time to share any gibberish on that. Rabin Roth says, career in iOS development, still huge. There shouldn't be any secondary thought. Just because I'm not making much videos on that or I'm not making a course on that doesn't mean it's gone. It's still 100% worth it. Any words on Flutter 2.0? Flutter 2.0. Should I really say it? It's good that they are doing so much of the things and developing everything on every platform. But hey guys, please make things a little bit more stable. Like just you have changed the engine from OpenGL and stuff. It made a lot of mess and there are few issues which are year long, and it's good. You are going in great direction. Probably one day it's going to be pretty cool and stuff. But yeah. Okay. I have completed Android native development. Is it enough to get job in 2021? Or I need to start with React Native immediately? My current experience is non-IT. If your experience is non-IT, I would say yes, you would need React Native as well, because a lot of companies are working in React Native, but they also need a good experience in core Android development so that few minor issues of their apps can be fixed up and can be published on the go. But since you're from non-IT, you are going to need as much as you can have. If this would be a statement from somebody with a BTech or a master's degree, I would have said that, yeah, core Android is fine enough. You can start applying to jobs and you will get it eventually. But since you are from non-IT, you need to go extra length there. From wherever the resource you are learning, that's a different matter. Doesn't even matter. Okay, so quite a long, how much long is this live? I have no idea. Okay, so we are still, the numbers are increasing, 661. Okay, this is a really long live. Okay, this is interesting one. Is it compulsory necessary to have an idea or a product ready for being an entrepreneur, as I'm in a second year BTech? There are probably 10,000 definitions of an entrepreneur or somebody who is interested in doing business. Let me tell you what I think about entrepreneurs or so-called businessmen. A business is something which solves a problem. A business like a hair salon is a business which solves a problem because we all look like a cartoon if we don't get a haircut. So that's a business which is solving a problem of giving us a good look. There's a shop which is having a clothes like t-shirts. It is solving a problem because I need to keep on buying the t-shirt. Similarly, whatever you are doing, whether it is IT or not, you need to have a product and you need to have a problem. That problem should be solved by that product. You are hungry, you opened up a biryani by kilo, you opened up a McDonald's, you sell burger, you solve a problem. So if you don't have a product, what you are solving, what the hell you are doing, you just have an idea somewhere? I really don't understand that. Entrepreneur is too much overhyped. It's not really that much of a big deal. Entrepreneurs are not doing too much. They're just doing a business. They saw a problem, they're solving it, just like we have been doing. We call it as Marwari business from a year long. Somebody was hungry, somebody cooked up some samosas or something, and they just solved a problem that people were hungry. I'm giving them this, and that's it. They're solving the problem. So having a problem is one of the issues. Don't just make up the problems. There should be a real problem there, and your product should solve that problem. See what Learn Code Online is. I saw a problem that people are not teaching the way I can teach it, so I taught it, and I charge a small amount of that, and hence it's a business. You can call me entrepreneur if you wish, but see, that's an overhyped word. That's all it is. So focus on building something, create something, and that's going to be getting it. Okay, tell us about VC, venture capital. Okay, I won't be talking too much on this, but let me give you one word of advice which is going to help all of you out there. Venture capitals, I hope we are talking on the same things. The late you are going to go for fundings or to venture capitals, the more you are going to get and much more easier it is. I see that people just created a product and want to go for funding. That's a bad idea. Your product should be self-sufficient and should have a business model so that it can generate some revenue. And once it generates a revenue, then it is much, much easier to scale it up and to ask for some money to scale it up. That's basically summarizing the VC for you. Well, that says, meet up in Jaipur once. Meetup in Jaipur once. I'll definitely try to have a meetup. I think Jaipur is not really an ideal place to have a meetup. I'll try to somewhere in Bangalore or something, because that's more an ideal place to have a meetup. In Hyderabad, Chennai, Bangalore, these are the places where more of the audience is available. Like-minded, we can have probably some discussion, sit in a park or a mall or something. That is going to be more, and probably Bangalore is going to be my favorite place to do meetup first. Or probably if we'll have any first meetup, I'll prefer to have it in Bangalore. Sorry, I'm more centric for the Bangalore. I love that city. What can I do? Interesting one. Please talk about the future of low-code development. Even if low-code development actually gets too much hype, which I'm still on a doubt phase, there will be still people needed for that low-code development to be maintained up. So eventually, programmers are maintaining that low-code. Are you seeing this inception or not? So I hope you are getting what I'm trying to say. Okay, so enough of this one. I think that's good enough. So don't worry about all these AIs and low-code development environment or anything. Nothing is going anywhere. They're going to be still up here. And that's all what we will be talking up there. Have a protein bar. I'll surely have it. But I'm going to be still remaining in the same. I'm going to be in the calorie deficit diet and stuff for the next few days also till 31st March. And then I'll be back, probably hopefully after reducing a few kgs that I really want to achieve that goal. And no matter what happens, I'm going to achieve that. Even if it takes 2 more months, I'm going to do it. Okay, there's another super chat. Okay, this is the last one. Please don't send any super chat after this. My family depends on my salary, but I am also working on my idea with 2 other people. Not able to understand when to go full-time on my idea, and I will lose the cash flow. If you're working on an idea and you are too much confident on that, my recommendation is that please don't go fully on that idea till you start having equivalent of your salary as an incoming from that idea. I know there are 2 other partners, but that eventually is going to be managed up. But you shouldn't go in that idea until unless equivalent of your salary starts coming up from that business idea. If that business idea don't have a business model or something, definitely a no, you should not go there. You should really study the case study of how the Paytm was born. The man, Vijay Shekhar, was running this Paytm as a side business from the salary and stuff. So you should definitely read that out. Even if till date, I'm not 100% into Learn Code Online, it's doing a great business and stuff. But still, my other resources, my consultancy, my jobs are much more as compared to what I'm getting from YouTube and all these video making and fun that I'm doing. So you shouldn't really guard that. Okay, so we're going to end this up with this. I recently got internship and 2 months passed, but I still can't solve problems and understand project fully. What should I do? I think imposter syndrome is killing me alive. Don't worry. You are just 2 months here. 2 months is nothing, my friend. Everybody has this feeling that I'm not able to solve problems. I'm not even able to manipulate the arrays and stuff. Happens with everybody. Stay there. I can see a great programmer in you, and eventually you are going to get big. You are going to make a good name in that. So my word to you, Sumit Shah, on this public platform is just hang in there for a little bit longer. You are a great programmer. I trust on you. You should trust on yourself as well. Just take a deep breath. You shouldn't compare yourself with other senior programmers and other people in your team. They are far more experienced, but hang in there. You're going to do good. I'm pretty sure of it. You are a good person. Okay, so that's all what we will be doing, and thank you so much all of you for joining in, and that's all what we'll be doing for this live. Thank you so much for joining up. Do connect with me on Instagram because I do a lot of crazy stuff there, and I'm more updated there as well. So bye-bye, and thank you so much for joining on this great Saturday, and make sure you are also working on your health as well. I'm working a lot on it. So that's it. Bye-bye and have a great day. Keep on learning. From wherever you are learning, just make sure you keep on learning.